Guten Morgen alle Leute, ich spreche nicht sehr gut Deutsch. So, wir sprechen in English. So, I know that you have the relic of Carlo, and this is a grace. And what does it mean to have the relic of Carlo? That means that Carlo can be an example for you, because Carlo lived the same things we lived, all of you, no? Especially the young people, no? The video games, the telephone, internet, everything. But he passed through these things without dangers, because he was very balanced in the use of this instrument. So first of all, we have to understand that all these things we have to use in the right way. We don't have to become slave of these technological means, because the risk nowadays is to become like slaves. And Carlo, first of all, is an example in this sense. Then he had especially a special devotion to the Eucharist that he used to call my highway to heaven. Carlo used to say that before, when Jesus was among us, more than 2,000 years ago, the people around Jesus were not so facilitated to meet him, because he was surrounded by crowds, and it was not so easy to see and to touch and to speak with Jesus. And for us, it is sufficient to go to the nearest church under our house, and if we have, where there is a tabernacle, we have Jerusalem among us, because we have the real presence of God among us. And this is something incredible. And Carlo did his first Holy Communion when he was 7 years old. And since then, he started to go to Mass each day and to do Eucharistic adoration either before or after Mass. Why? Because for Carlo, really, the Eucharist was his highway to heaven. When we receive Jesus, we receive the source of love, because Jesus is love. The Apostle St. John told us that God is love. So when we receive the Eucharist, we receive the real presence of God, the whole Jesus. And because Jesus is love, we receive the source of love. And the goal of our life, we have to become saint. What is it? Is to love God overall and to love our neighbors like ourselves. So when we eat the Eucharist, we eat love. And Jesus, through the Eucharist, helps us to grow in this capacity of loving God and loving our brother and sister. So it's very important. This is why it's a highway to heaven. Because really, through the Eucharist, Jesus transfigures us, give us force against temptation, and really, little by little, he transforms us. And it's very, very important. Carlo, when he did his first Holy Communion, he wrote, "To be always united to God. This is my life program." And he maintained this program. This was, Carlo used to go to Mass each day and to do Eucharistic adoration, as I told you, each day, either before or after Mass. And this is why, because I really understood that the most supernatural things we have in the earth is the real presence of God. God is around us. And even if he hide behind the pieces of bread and wine, but we know that he is really present with his physical presence. Because everywhere we have God from a spiritual point of view, but with his physical presence, he is in the Eucharist. And we need this, because we are not only soul, but also chair, and we need to be nourished also, and our chair, even if we will, there will be the resurrection of body after death, at the end of the world. But now we need this help, because also in Jesus, through the Eucharist, he nourishes also our body which has the wand of original sin, and we need this inclination we have towards the evil things is something that derives from the original sin, these wounds that have to be healed, and the healer is Jesus. Jesus is the doctor. Jesus is the medicine of our body, of our souls. So of course, Carlo was a young boy of your age. He was also very active in the charity things with beggars, with the poor people, with the old people, with the young people, with bullied people, but all these beautiful things he used to do, all these fantastic things he did were nourished by God. His grace to God, like the vineyard, and that if you cut the vineyard, you cannot produce the grapes. This is the problem. And when we are not united to God, we cannot produce the grapes. We are not the labor of the earth, and the salt of the earth, like Jesus said to invite us to be, and the light of the world. So I wish you to become always holier and holier, to be the light of the world and the salt of the earth, like Jesus told us in the gospel. And it is possible, and the sacraments are really the most supernatural things we have, because through the sacrament God gave us grace to grow in holiness and to become always holier and holier, like Carlo. And you can do the same. So I hope that Carlo's Reliquie will bring you a lot of graces, a lot of light for your life, and you will become light for a lot of people. So God bless you. I hope to see you in future in presence, and ask you a prayer for canonization of Carlo, and I pray for you.